Well, welcome to Conversations with Dr. Harriet and our special guest, Dr. Sheary Johnson. How are you?
Hello, Harriet. How are you today?
Oh, I'm so happy that you took time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us right here on Conversations with Dr. Harriet, right here on the Power Network. So, for those few people who may not know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Harriet, for inviting me to this particular platform today. I'm Dr. Sheary Johnson, and I've been working a long time helping people to develop what's inside of them. I've gone through quite a few years in different arenas doing things. Of course, my major area of working right now is in ministry. I work as part of my church, the Church of God in Christ. I work in that on our local level, district, state, and national levels. And then I also am a retired librarian. I spent my professional career being a librarian in public schools and then also teaching people who wanted to be librarians at the university level. So, information has been a part of my life, obtaining information for myself, helping others to find information for their use. Because without information, we cannot make uh, qualified and correct decisions.
Oh,
Of
good.
course,
I'm
of
sorry.
course, I can't leave out family. I am a wife and I am a mother and a grandmother. So I guess that rounds me out.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask what I was getting ready to add that have been married for 51 years. That in
Yeah.
itself, everybody needs to be giving you a big hand for 51 years. That is so amazing. Also, you're a pastor of Victory Family Worship Center. And I just admire how much community work that you all do, the community outreach that your church does. And you just have a heart for the people. And I really love that about you as well. And being the supervisor of Virginia Fourth Jurisdiction Church of God in Christ, you are the coordinator for the Church of God in Christ Women's Book Club. Gosh, you
Mhm.
have so many things going on. Also, you're a WIN Network member, the Women's Empowerment Network. Yay!
Yes, yes, yes.
Also, what I want to congratulate you on, I know there's so many different things. We're going to get to our topic, I promise. But I want to congratulate you on being you're a graduate of James Madison University. And
Mhm.
recently they named a building after you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh my, that was an awesome event. In fact, just to uh, be notified that they wanted to name a building after me was a privilege that I never dreamed of having. But I am the first African American to student as well as graduate of James Madison University. Of course, when I graduated, the name was Madison College. And by the time I went back to receive my doctorate from there, they had changed the name to James Madison University. So that was really an awesome occasion when we came, was September the 24th, when we went to Harrisonburg to James Madison, when they actually dedicated the renaming of the building. And that's where they teach social justice classes, which I think is very appropriate for what they are recognizing me for.
That is so wonderful. It's such an honor. Congratulations. Also, you are the founder and CEO of My Ministry Connection. Tell us a little bit about that as well.
Well, my ministry connection is the ministry that I started as a result of people coming to me wanting to know how they can be trained, how they can find more information about what it is that they feel like God has put in their spirit to do. Not only that, some women in particular are given jobs and responsibilities in church settings, but they are not taught how to do it or what needs to be done or the task involved in it, how to start it. So they just have questions. And so that's how the ministry connection was birthed out of the need for information and how to do a task or a job that I've been asked to do or the person has been assigned to do. And so that's in the ministry connection, those persons who have experience, whether it's on the job experience or educational experience in an area, they provide training as well as mentoring and networking for individuals who want to grow their ministry or nonprofit organization. That is the ministry connection.
That is so wonderful. We're going to have you on our Monday ladies chit chat to even expand on that more because there's so many people who are in ministry and have no idea what to do, how to do it.
Mhm.
And you have people walking in and they're so frustrated because they feel like that, you know, I'm not going to ask because I don't want people to look down on me or I feel insecure because everybody else has their stuff going on and I don't. And that's not true. It is absolutely not true. And so I love that you're able to instill that self-confidence in people to ask questions and to be trained. And that is so wonderful. So I can't wait to share more information with the WIN Network. And like I said, the ladies chit chat on it. So we have to plan that really soon. Okay. And lastly, before we get to our topic, which is ministry connections, you have a book that's out. Tell us about your book, Steps to Empowerment.
Oh, Steps to Empowerment. It is a book that helps people to move from one level to another. There are certain challenges that people have in life, such as low self esteem. Um, they have problems with worry, they have problems with depression. Some people have problems with the way they think. They need guidance in how to think in positive manner. Sometimes people think negatively, and negative thinking yields negative results. So thinking
Good.
positive, how to change your way of thinking. So there are various things that various challenges that people need to overcome in order to be successful. And I believe that people need to be empowered in their lives. And so, therefore, um, I do have a tendency to write things down. And the reason I write information down is because when you talk to people, they tend to understand and they walk away with a desire to implement some of what they've heard. But then lo and behold, they forget what it is that was said. And because they forget or can't remember it totally, it eventually goes by the wayside. So if it is in writing, they have something to refer to. They can go back to the book, they can go back to the notes and pick up where they left off. So, Steps to
Mhm.
Empowerment is a book, and then I also have a journal for that. I
Very.
have my very first book was Why I Didn't Say Yes. And this book was born out of the fact that God puts ideas and thoughts in your mind, and some people they don't do it for various reasons. And so this book explores some of the reasons why people don't say yes when God plants an idea or a thought in your spirit of something to do that will propel you forward in your life.
I love that. That's another topic on our ladies chit chat we have to use. So we're going to need to schedule you for two appointments on the ladies chit chat to get all that information. That is so good. I love that. Now, how can they find your books, Dr. Cherry?
My books are available on Amazon.com, and they're also available on the Connection website, which is myministryconnection.com.
Okay, that sounds good. And for those of you who are having a women's conference or just a conference in general, please, invite Dr. Sherry Johnson to speak at your conference. These actual workbooks in itself could be a conference in itself, but invite her to talk about these things. And she has so much wisdom. We love her, on the Win Network, and she just always has a wonderful word of encouragement, and she shares with such, vast wisdom that she shares with us. And I just appreciate you so much for being a part of my life, of course, with the network, but even a part of my life. You're amazing. And so looking forward to what the future has to hold for my ministry connection as well. So
Yes.
let's get right into our topic. Today we're talking about ministry connections. Connections. Tell us where that topic came about and we'll jump right into it.
Well, connections are important. We need to know who we need to know, and then we need to actually get to talk to those people. Communication is very important. So, in the ministry connection, we try to connect people together who who have an interest in the same things. Some people have already started. Some people have been doing the work, and some people want to do the work. So, if we can connect the people who want to be with those who are or have experience doing, then that will help the next person coming along to be able to skip some of the hardships, some of the challenges, give them some ideas to do things. A lot of people experience hard knocks, and just because I experienced a hard knock, you don't have to experience that same trial. You don't have to, you can kind of skip over that hurdle because I've warned you about it or I have given you some ways around it. I have shared with you those things that I have experienced to take you um, into your destiny.
I love that. And connections are so important. And we really don't realize how many people that we come across every day. I mean, I know with COVID, it kind of set us back as far as being in different, venues with people. But, we just have to be open. I mean, I've been to different luncheons and it may not have been all of people my color, maybe, different ethnicities. And those have turned out to be some of my best connections that I have made. And it's just a thing of being open to meeting people and finding out what they may offer you to have something that you don't have. It's always something that you can gain from other people, but just being open, I think, is so important. and starting those conversations. A lot of people are, are kind of shy about starting
Mhm.
conversations. You don't know who you're going to meet whenever you stop and talk to people. It could be in a church, it could be in a grocery store, it could be, at a restaurant. It could be
Mhm.
the waitress that's who is taking your order. You never know who you're meeting. Those connections are so important. I love that. And I love even in your ministries, you're saying connecting people who may not have the same connection. So you may have somebody who's an author. You're an author, you're a published author, and you may have somebody who has written a book but don't know what to do with it. So those are the type people that needs to connect with you on My Ministry Connection, because you have people who are author coaches. You're connected to so many different people that you can help them in whatever area that they need. So I love that. So what else would we know about Ministry Connections? Tell us more about why it's so important. And not only ministry, you're saying it's Ministry Connections we're talking about, but it could be business connections using that same
Sure.
technique, correct?
Ministry can lead to a nonprofit business. And I found that out in my work in ministry, just helping children. I started off helping children, and as a result of doing children's programs in the community, I was informed that I could get money to help me do that work. And when I inquired about the money, to obtain those funds, I found out I had to be incorporated. I found out I needed to have a 501c3, and all of those things I needed to have as a business or as an entity trying to obtain funds turned me into a nonprofit business. I didn't start off to be a nonprofit business, but because of the things required in order for me to obtain funding, it turned me into a nonprofit business. And of course, that carries with it a lot of responsibilities, a lot of forms, a lot of just language, just a whole world of itself, different from the ministry that we're used to. Um, that we have to become knowledgeable about, and so we do that as well. We help carry people from ministry to nonprofit status, and as so that they can be in the position to obtain grants, to obtain the funding that's necessary
Oh, that
to
is so good. Yeah,
to
because people don't know. A lot of people they've heard of it before, but who do I ask? What are the steps? And so you're teaching them as well. I love that. And then also, when we talk about connections, ministry connections, there's a lot of stuff really within the ministry that people don't know. People don't know about being licensed. They don't know about making sure their books are correct.
Mhm.
At their church, at IRS does not care who you are. If your books are not correct, it can land you in some trouble. And so, just being able to find out all of that information as well is so important. So, tell us more about even more ministry connections that are important to us.
Well, you mentioned one just now with the finances. When you're reaching out to do ministry, ministry cost. It costs to provide services to people. Sometimes people um, don't want to give or are not able to give, because often the people who need the services uh, uh, don't have the funds to
Right.
pay for the service that they've received. So it's good for others to make donations to those nonprofits or to those ministries that are reaching out to help others. And if they do, and that entity is a nonprofit, then they get certain tax breaks because they have made donations to a nonprofit. So just knowing the kinds of deductions that you can get and how much is helpful to you as an individual. And those of us who do help, we do give a lot of our personal funds to help ministry move forward.
Mm,
So
that's so
just knowing about the financial aspects of it, of working and doing, is very helpful.
okay. I love that. And then even with Dr. Sherry, what about even connections as far as joining different groups or different fellowships? How important is that as well? You know, I taught my children even in the secular world about how important it was for them to join groups as, you know, even when they were in high school and in college to join organizations, and because you meet people that you would have never met, you know, just in passing. So as adults and in ministry, how important is that to join different fellowships?
I believe that we need to be well rounded individuals, that we not only need to know people in the church, we need to know people in our community. We need to know people who are doing what we do, but then we need to know people doing other things as well. Because the more people we know, um, the better we can help others. Um, and not only help others, but help ourselves because we can glean information that will help us in another setting. So I like the WIN network. The WIN network allows me the opportunity to get to know many other people who are in business, other people who do different things. We're not all doing the same thing, but we are answering a call, a need that we feel on the inside. Each one of us is doing that, and some may be writing, some may be creating uh, items to sell or different things. But whatever it is, that's a person that you get to know, and they're doing something that you may eventually need, and or you can tell somebody else about it. So somebody's going to need what it is each person is doing.
So true. And that is so important. And, you know, even again, like I said, even for your kids, encourage your kids to join different organizations. And then as adults, you know, go and join something different. You know, I mean, I just learned from myself. It's so funny when I'm, you know, I live in two places, two different cities. And when I see people, it's like, okay, do I know them from Richmond? Do I know them from Florida? Do I know them from the PTA? Do I know them from sports? Do I know them from ministry, politics? I'm involved in so many different things over the years. I've been involved in so many different things. So I have to remember, you know, I know the person, but I'm just always trying to, okay, now where do we meet? You know, where do I know this person from? And you know, there's such a blessing because now that my kids are older and you know, and kind of in the world and meeting people, and they're like, "Oh, that's your mom. I know your mom from." And it has enriched my life so much to be able to know people from all different aspects of life. And so, just encouraging people to get out and fellowship, join some organizations. I met the best people in PTA. I
Yeah.
was president of PTA for 3 years when my son was in middle school,
Mhm.
and I met so many people that I'm still friends with today in sports. You know,
Mhm.
the parents that I've met. over the years, and sponsors. I mean, I've met people who, when my son was in high school, different people who had owned businesses. And now if I'm doing any type of events, any type of fundraisers or whatever, I can go to those people that I met when we were they were in high school, and ask them about being a sponsor to something. So you just never know who you're going to meet, but you just have to be open. I think that is the most important, don't you think? Being open.
Oh yes, being open to different ideas and different ways of doing things. And although we're talking basically about people who are the leaders, or the persons who start organizations or whatever, we would like to let people know that we need those people who just are interested in something and want to help somebody else do it. We need helpers, we need encouragers, we need people who will be behind the scenes workers for every idea that is had. It's going to take people to make it happen. And so each ministry, each worker, each idea can use supporters, use people who help to make it happen.
Good. And so people can actually call you up and volunteer for the My Ministry Connection as well. I've actually gone to your website, which is wonderful, and I definitely am going to subscribe. I didn't get a chance to do it while I was just glancing at the website, but I will subscribe to your association as well, and even become a member myself, because I know that there's always something that I can give personally, give back to help as well. And so we're looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in volunteer, make sure to reach out to Dr. Johnson as well. And her Cash App is on there. You can also donate to the ministry. And when you donate to any type of organizations like this, they're able to use those funds to reach more people. So definitely, and their tax, she's 501(c)(3). She told you that. So that's tax deductible on top of that. So, Dr. Sheary, our time is ticking. Gosh, it's gone by so fast. Will you give an encouraging word? We have people who are watching from all over the world. 80 million homes that we have the possibility to reach right here on the Power Network. And so, would you give an encouraging word to those people who give us about maybe 40 seconds worth?
Well, there's a scripture that says, "Be not weary in well doing, for in due season you will reap if you faint not." Don't get weary, don't get tired. There's a tendency to be tired when you work and work and work, and it doesn't seem like you're making much headway, or you're not reaching your goal that you wanted to. But if you keep going and keep your hand to the plow, you will reap if you faint not.
So good. Wow, that is so good. Just be encouraging. Just encouraging people. Again, we have people listening or watching all the way from Africa and Australia, Canada, and just to name a few, of course, all the United States. And so I know that was a good word for them today. Making sure that you all go to the myministryconnection.com, and also all of her information, Dr. Sherry's information, all of her social media pages are on the ticker as well. Make sure to write those down or take a screenshot, and follow her on all the social media. Find out what's going on in her life. Order her books. The books are amazing, and also just look for her. I know that God is going to do some amazing things in your life. I know that, Dr. Sherry, you have such a heart of gold. And I love that with your outreach, all about women. It's all about empowering women, men too, but I know you have a heart for women. And so we appreciate you. And we speak blessings over your life and your ministry as well.
Thank you, and blessings on your life as well. You're so helpful to many, and I just love your spirit. You make it easy to talk to people,
Oh,
especially to you. God bless you.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, remember, today only happens once, so make it amazing. Thank you all for tuning in to Conversations with Dr. Harriet and our special guest, Dr. Sheary Johnson. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.